Where was Richard Cottingham from? And what was his childhood like before we get into the juicy details? Let's profile him from the beginning.
Okay. He was from New York. Um, Not the city, but that's where he worked. He ended up working as an IT guy back in the very beginning of IBM, and he was kind of at the forefront of um, you know computer programming and things of that nature. He was a really smart guy, family man. He had a couple kids, a wife. He his story is in that case really similar to BTK. He was kind of a guy who led a double life. I mean, his wife didn't know about his extracurricular activities, so to speak. Um, but he did have a room in the house that no one else was allowed to go in except for him. And that's where he kept his trophies and souvenirs from his various crimes. And, he at first it was thought that he had killed as many as 18, but now recently he has confessed to at least 11 more murders. Six.
On top of the 18 murders that he
Yeah,
has, there's it possibly could be 11 more murders. That's absolutely
no,
crazy,
no,
man.
there actually are 11 more, but they're trying to close more cold cases where he was at least a suspect or a person of interest. And now with the DNA and the genealogical data that they have that can tie killers into more crimes, and as long as the DNA hasn't degraded to the point where it's not usable, they can at least identify um, a person of interest as either being at the scene, being there, and not being able to be excluded. So these detectives in New Jersey and New York have opened their cold case files and are working with a somewhat reluctant Richard Cottingham in closing these cases. And I mean, these guys are really, um, giving him, they're having like poker nights, getting him uh, cheeseburgers, pizza, pretty much any little luxury that they can offer him, just to try to build a rapport with him to get him to close some of these cases. And although at first and still really he's reluctant to do so, he has confessed and been convicted on, I believe, no less than three more cases, possibly as many as six. But they expect his body count could reach, into the triple digits, over a
What?
hundred. Yeah,
What?
yeah. He started killing in the late '60s. So he started killing at a young age. He was, the thing about him is he wasn't a goofball in high school. He was kind of, you know, um, well liked, athletic guy. He wasn't bullied. He wasn't um, picked on. He wasn't like um, you know the most popular guy, but he wasn't by any means picked on or alienated. Um, he was a fairly you know good looking guy. He didn't have any problems with getting dates or anything like that. But the thing about it is he was extremely uh, violent. He had a terrible temper, and as you can see, he kind of well, I guess he was always a bigger guy. So
He looks like Santa Claus. Like,
yeah,
let's face it.
he does. He
He
looks.
looks like he doesn't have. I'm looking at the guy's eyes, right?
Mhm.
And he looks like the type of guy. I know people are going to say, "Oh, he looks like a wrong," and he looks like he would do something like that, but he actually doesn't. He looks like the type of guy that maybe you would meet, like a school teacher, and you
Yeah,
think that he's a nice guy and he's like a friendly face. He's got that Santa Claus beard going on. He doesn't have those dark, piercing serial killer eyes. So
no,
is this what makes him sort of like an enigma, a rare case that actually this guy had a good upbringing, he had a good life, and he could be one of the most notorious serial killers that people don't know about. Like for Richard Cottingham, he doesn't, when researching him, there's not a lot of people speaking about him, but
no.
actually he could be more notorious than Ted Bundy. That's
Oh,
could be a
sure.
registered fact very, very soon.
Yeah, he could easily surpass Bundy's known body count, but again with Bundy, he took a lot of secrets to the grave. Um, there's speculation that Bundy has at least double, the amount of known bodies to his credit. Um, so, the thing about investigating serial killers is they're all, you know, narcissistic, but they're also liars. They're not gonna um, readily give up what they know, the one thing that they know they have a value, and that's information. And they know that these families want closure, and they know that these agencies want to close out cold cases, and they know that they're holding all the cards. So they're not going to just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to help you guys out. You know, those cases that you're looking at, I did all those. It doesn't happen that way. You know, it's going to be a game, like a game of chess all the way until the end. Now, Richard Cottingham, he's in failing health now. So what they get from him is what they get. Once he's gone, they are really turning up the heat on him, kind of, getting him to say, look, don't you have kids? Wouldn't you want to know if you were in that position? And see, his thing is,